the greatest way for you as an individual to make a difference is through serving, but the greatest way for our church to make a difference is through reproducing churches in small towns across North Carolina. So like, if you're bought into one pastor, one location, that's like the model of church you love, like I can recommend a bunch of them. And I'm great with that. I said this to somebody earlier today, that we are a church for all people, but our church isn't right for all people. And I'd love to help you find the church that's perfect for you. But I want you to be aware of where we're heading, because I feel so passionate about planting churches in small towns. I feel really passionate about planting churches in small towns because Tori and I are a part of church planting networks, and I have the opportunity to coach church planters all around the world, and nobody's chomping at the bit to launch a church in a small town. When we tell them that we planted a church in a town that had 1,800 people, they were like, "Are you forgetting zeros?" Because on the low end, they recommend 250,000 people in the area you launch a church in. On the low end. But here's what we know. There's places like Mount Pleasant, and there's places like Locust, and there's places like Midland and Richfield and Landis that need Jesus. And I feel like we're in that position kind of like Isaiah, where it's like, "Hey, Lord, send me, I'll go." Like, hey, whatever you want to do, whatever. So we're talking as a leadership team now about what it would look like to send 100 people to Locust to start another location. Like, we're having the conversations now. So you're like, well, why are we growing it? Why we're growing this so that we can send out. It's not so that we can be the mega church in Mount Pleasant, which truthfully only requires 200 people. So you win. Like, that's not the goal. That's not the goal. If you're bought into me being the only communicator and you're like, "Oh, Pastor, I just love hearing you teach. I hope you like YouTube." Because I'm just telling you, my calling and passion is to raise up communicators and other people who know how to preach God's word. You need to hear from more people because you need to hear the unique expression of God through somebody else. And so like last year, I taught like 48 Sundays. I'm teaching like 32 this year. And the whole reason is we're raising up communicators in this house. Because when we go to another location, it's not going to be the video screen where I'm on the screen. I'm not saying that model's wrong. I think it has a purpose. But here's what I am saying. Our heart's to equip leaders. And so that's what we're going to keep doing. And we're going to keep equipping people, and we're going to keep getting them ready. Because I know there's people in Locust that need Jesus. And there's people in Landis that need Jesus. And there's people in all of these small towns. And the good news of the gospel is not, hey, we're building a great church and it's incredible. You probably love our coffee and our pastor's handsome. The good news of the gospel is we go to where people are. We don't tell them to come to us. Oh, you're in Locust? I don't need you to drive 20 minutes to church. I want to plant a church in your area so that we can help more people meet Jesus. Because I'm not going to spend my life chasing a dollar when I was made to make a difference. So I don't know if that's you. For some of you, I believe when we start talking about another location and for some of you, that like freaked you out and you were like, "Oh no, how are we going to do that?" And then others of you are like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm ready." Well, here's what happens. How do we get ready? Churches don't plant themselves. We all just start carrying a towel. We all just start doing our part. And then as you begin to serve, God will begin to grow. Because he entrusts seeds to those who sow. Psalm 92:13, I'm going to close with this. It says, "Those who are planted in the house of the Lord will flourish in the courts of our God." I believe there are a lot of people who go to church and are potted but not planted. And until you sink your roots in, you will never flourish.